Good morning, Market Snipers. This is Jesse. We have a lot to cover today. In the title, we have pending sell signal on Bitcoin daily chart, but we also have a pending sell signal on the weekly chart. And we've been following this every single day for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, calling it out in real time. And we're going to dive into that much deeper today. We're also going to cover the NASDAQ. We're going to cover some important other stocks, possibly metals, for the first 15 to 30 minutes. We're going to go through it as many charts as we can. And then make sure to comment your requests. In the second half of the stream, we will cover all of your requests. We'll go through all your comments, and we'll just kind of knock out chart after chart after chart. So with that, let's dive in. We'll come right back to Bitcoin, but let's look at the NASDAQ weekly chart, right? So not much has changed. Looks like this was still the high at the moment. This still looks like a lower high here. And then we're waiting, watching to see if, there's bearish divergence, followed by a lower high here, followed by, are we going to see another lower high on the NASDAQ? If you take a look at the MACD, still had that bearish crossover. And it's the convergence divergence, right? So, as it's trending down, doesn't mean price can't be trending up temporarily, but usually price will catch up to the indicators. If you got bearish divergence, right, and price continues to go up, eventually price will catch up to RSI and it'll all balance itself out. So that's what we're still watching on the NASDAQ. If you kind of move in closer on, or move in on the daily chart, you can see that we had that bearish divergence. We had the lower high, breakdown to the first target, right? Quick recap here. We got the bearish divergence, lower high, hit target 1, bounce all the way up, second lower high, back down to target 2. We talked about this, been covering it every single day in the live streams. And now we're waiting for that third lower high to get in. And one thing I want to point out that's a little bit different compared to the previous live streams is, if you notice, when there's a reversal starting to happen, right? And say it's a longer term bearish correction on this NASDAQ chart. As it's continuing to battle with lower highs and lower lows, you can see every bounce becomes less and less. So for example, you had this big move down, right? You have this big push up, and then it starts to get less and less, and it kind of like starts to get tired out, starts to get exhausted, right? And then you start to see that big breakdown from there. So again, the bullish divergence down here, and then you can kind of see where it's finding support, that big push up, a lesser push, a lesser push, a lesser push, right? And then you kind of start to see it start to roll over again. So big push up, lesser, break back down. Big push up, lesser, starts to roll over, boom, back down. Big push up, the candles become less and less, and then it starts to fade, and then it starts to roll back over, right? So typically it's not like the VIX where it goes straight up and straight back down and straight up. It's usually a big push up, starts to lose momentum, starts to roll over, right? And then creates that lower high and that short the bounce opportunity that we're still waiting for on the NASDAQ, waiting patiently like snipers would. Welcome back, Aldo, Doc, Rick's Moneymakers, Helton, Be Balanced, Shooter, by the way. We're going to go through all the comments on the second half, 15, 30 minutes. We're going to try to get through all these charts together and rock and roll. So please smash the like button. Our goal is 100 likes. We're getting closer and closer. So help me, help you, help me, and rock and roll. Let's get those likes, smash them, subscribe so you can put in the comments what charts you want me to see. Let's take a look at the SP 500. Similar thoughts to NASDAQ, so we don't need to spend too much time on it. Bigger pushes up, kind of loses momentum, right? Lesser and lesser, and then comes back down. Big push up. The candles become less and less. Now it's losing momentum, right? It's losing momentum. Will it start to roll over and then that will be that lower high, right? So we'll find out. Dow Jones, right? The peak, uh, lower peak, breakdown, big move up, lesser candles, and we'll find out if it's going to roll over from there. Let's look at the weekly chart on the Dow Jones. You can see there was a sell signal back on the Dow Jones where there hasn't been a sell signal on NASDAQ yet. We've been talking about that. We've been covering it. Still no sell signal on the NASDAQ. Is it outperforming or is it lagging time-wise? Could be a little bit of both, but overall, I still think it's lagging time-wise and that we're going to see a sell signal on the weekly chart. It won't remain bullish forever, right? So it had this amazing rally, had this amazing buy signal back here in January 2023. It won't be bullish forever. There will at least be a correction of some sort where prices come back to hit these targets. It's just a matter of time. We're already seeing it on the SP 500. Sell signal, pending buy, but it's way below the trending dots. It's kind of just letting the trending dots catch up, letting the moving averages catch up, putting in a lower high. MACD bearish crossover happened. There's no signs of reversal yet. Dow Jones, similar thoughts. Do have this longer upward trend line. Could have found temporary support. Kind of let the trending dots catch up. Let the moving averages catch up. That's what we've been talking about every day on these live streams. And it's continuing to play out the way we thought. Good morning, Caesar. RBLZs. Yeah, let me know what asset that is, Caesar, too, in the comments so we can search for it fairly quickly. Gold. This could be a temporary reversal, right? You've got this, the trending dots continuing to trend downward. And it was such a big move down for gold that, this could be one of those lower highs, AKA dead cat bounces. It's possible to find support at target 2, right? It's possible. I think it's less likely because silver, and, I'm biased because of what we saw in silver. So silver did come back down to retest the 200-week moving average. Silver did close back below the 200-week moving average. So I'm a little biased that way, where I think gold will continue to come back down and retest it over time. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We won't hold on to a narrative too long, but this is what I'm talking about, where silver did break down and silver did close back below the 200-week moving average, and it's retesting it right now. Will it, come all the way back up, retest this downward trend line? This upward trend line that it broke down from. Will it retest it, let the moving averages catch up, and let the red trending dots catch up, right? So that's silver, still bearish on the weekly chart. DXY, still bullish on the weekly chart, right? Still bullish on the weekly chart. It could have that retracement back to the trending dots, right? Which would be about just shy of 104. And we mapped this out on the daily chart as well, where we have targets back down here on a different chart, probably the regular DXY. Let's see. Yeah, so we have targets mapped out already. So it's just a matter of, is it going to just do a shorter term retracement? And then after this retracement, will it find like support, possibly, say around here, find support, bounce, and then come back up here? That's what we're going to wait and see and find out. But it is going through a correction. We did have that bearish divergence on the daily chart. Even though it's still bullish on the weekly chart, then we would expect, some sort of a retracement on the daily chart, find support, and then bounce, as long as the weekly chart is still bullish, right? Daily chart is still currently bullish, but there is a correction right now with the bearish divergence. And even if it goes bearish and comes down and hit lower targets, doesn't mean it won't bounce and come back up to hit the fourth target. It hit 3 out of the 4 targets to the upside. We'll see if it hits this target or if it's going to hit the 4th target down here. But in the meantime, still looking at come down like this, find support, and then we'll find out if it comes back up like that at that point. So take it level by level, step by step. One thing is interesting on the 10-year yield and the TNX, we're going to take a look at. Let's get back on the crosshairs real quick. 10 minutes in. Johnny C, a little bit late. No worries. Cannot sacrifice workouts. And I can't stress that enough, Johnny. Can't stress that enough. You got to get the workouts in, right? Health is wealth, I guess, right? I mean, we want to be wealthy monetarily, but we also got to be, if you're a billionaire and you say you're 65 years old and you found out your health isn't great, would you give $1 billion up to live another 20 years versus like you were told you were going to die in a year, right? You would definitely give up $1 billion to live another 20 years. So, got to have that health, Johnny C. Got to have that health. So TNX, this is the daily chart. We've been covering on the 10-year yield, which had a reversal candle on the daily chart. And we were talking about bearish divergence, right? MACD bearish crossover. So we've been talking about this on the weekly chart, right? Let me clean this up real quick. Let me clean this up. The weekly chart, I noticed that when I change the setting here, there's a reversal candle on the weekly chart, right? So something to pay attention to. Doesn't mean it's the top, but we've been talking about there is long-term bearish divergence. This is continued bearish divergence. And this is a weekly chart with a pending reversal candle. Again, the week has not closed. This weekly reversal candle could disappear. And it doesn't mean that this is the top. It could still find support, bounce, and continue back upwards to higher rates. But I might do a follow-up video to the market crash here. This video here. If you've missed this one, you definitely want to take a look at it. I did it 2 weeks ago. I might do a follow-up video to that. So it'll make more sense if you come back over here and watch this video. And I'll keep doing updates on the Bitcoin as well. But definitely take a look at this Deja Vu Bitcoin topping pattern video. And then will we see Bitcoin hit 38,000 or 24,000? I gave my exact thoughts on it. I talked about this fractal. So definitely go take a look at there. Obviously talked about this on the topping patterning over here on this post as well. So we'll cover it today on Bitcoin as well. It's dropping. It's down 2.4%. This is no surprise for the market snipers. We've been talking about this, covering it. Many people going against the snipers. Many people don't believe it. They're calling for 30,000. They're calling for 38,000. We're watching this breakdown in real time. We're going to get into it next. Just wanted to kind of look at this 10-year yield real fast. Markets across the boards are dropping, right? Someone commented, I remember on the X app, well, Bitcoin's breaking down. So a buy signal on Riot, the Bitcoin miner, there was no buy signal on Riot. I was just pointing out that there was a potential that, maybe there's a short-term bounce regardless of what Bitcoin's doing, but it is something to be aware of that Bitcoin was breaking down. And so to be aware that the Bitcoin miners or any asset related to Bitcoin, whether that's, the NASDAQ or, because I consider it kind of like almost like a tech stock or, crypto assets, right? So all those is an awareness that if Bitcoin is breaking down, you want to be aware that the other assets, but we do trade each chart individually and we do talk about that often. So this is something that's interesting that I noticed this morning that I hadn't noticed before. So it must be new that there's a pending reversal candle on the 10-year yield weekly chart. There is a reversal candle on the daily chart. And so I had to change the inputs back from 60 to the default of 70. So I did have to change it back to actually see it. So I'm always flipping back and forth. But let's just I just want to show that to you for those purposes. But for Bitcoin, I have it on 60 right now. And so let's go back to the daily chart and we'll jump in. I just wanted to point that out in the 10-year yield. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's cover this. Oh, didn't even realize on the live stream, we just hit target 2 on Bitcoin. We just hit target 2. Definitely smash the like if you've been following the snipers. You've been a sniper for a long time. We had the reversal candle. We're talking about it. John, good morning. Third higher low. Possibly. We'll take a look at it. Good call if it is. Johnny C, good morning. Caesar, RBLX, stocks, Roblox. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So I don't remember all the symbols, right? I even get the Apple symbol wrong when I type it in often. It's AAPL, but a lot of times I do APPL. It just seems like Apple would be APPL when I go fast, right? But it's AAPL. So best live stream around. John, you know it. You know it. The world's going to find out what the best live stream is. We're going to get to it. Who the most accurate snipers in the land are. That's us, the market snipers. So we talked about this. We didn't know for sure, but we talked about this on the live streams that the reversal candle has called it on Bitcoin 4 times. Was it 4 times in a row? Hold on. 1, 2, 3 times in a row. Would this be the 4th time in a row that the reversal candle called out the reversal on Bitcoin, right? And we talked about it did not call it out there. So we were waiting, we were watching, talking about it. Price is getting back up to 28,000. We didn't change our tune. We said we did put that 4th target back on just as, just to stay neutral, Could hit that 4th target. It never did. It hit target 3 and that was it. So it hit multiple targets to the downside, found support, had the reversal candle, came up, hit 3 out of the 4 targets to the upside, had a reversal candle. We talked about it. It looked like it was starting to put in another lower high, right? Lower high, right? Started talking about it. We even dropped down to the 12-hour chart, right? 12-hour chart also had the reversal candle. Looks like it was putting in a lower high. It was starting to break down. A candle closed below. There was some pending sell signals. We were talking about on the 8-hour chart. We were covering it in real time, even on the lower time frames. We were like, sell signal. There was a pending sell signal, and it became a sell signal when we went live. We had a pending sell signal on Tuesday on the 8-hour chart. It became the sell signal as we went live. And now, since that sell signal, we've had 1, 2, 3 sell signals to the downside on the 8-hour chart. We hit target 1. We just hit target 2 as we were, I guess it hit earlier. So I guess I didn't realize that it hit target 2 already. Let's go back to the 12-hour chart. Big move down on the 12-hour chart. We even talked about this on Ethereum. We were waiting. We were watching. We were saying, is Ethereum leading the way to the downside, right? Because Ethereum had the breakdown, the sell signal on the daily chart back on last week, Thursday. Oops, hit the desk with my knee. Sell signal also had the reversal candle on the daily chart. We're calling this out in real time. Smash the like. You know you love it. Vince, welcome back. Casper Short playing out nicely. Happy for you. Awesome. We're going to get to all the comments. We're going to cover all the comments. We're going to cover all your chart requests. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. There are some bigger stocks I want to point out too. We've been covering the Magnificent Seven a lot. So unless you have a special request, maybe we'll wait till the Magnificent Seven starts to potentially roll over and put in that lower high. We've been watching it and covering it every single day, multiple streams, for more than a month now. We've been live streaming for more than a month, rocking and rolling every day, calling it out in real time. And Ethereum had the reversal candle, had that sell signal, started rolling down. Is Ethereum showing us the way on Bitcoin? It had a daily close back below the 200-week moving average, had a daily close below this upward trend line. Another one seems to be follow through. You have this last line of defense for the bulls right here. this daily horizontal support. It's hit it 1, 2, third day in a row. If it starts to break down, we have longer term targets back down here where this question mark is at 1500. Don't scare the kids. Don't show the kids this chart. This is just for the grown-ups. Potentially, if it starts to break down, there's no confirmation yet that it's breaking down below this horizontal line on the daily chart. It could find support. We don't know yet. If it gets to this target area, it's possible it gets back down to this target area. Many didn't believe when we called out sub $1,000 on Ethereum back here. Well in advance, it did hit $883. I know some of you longtime snipers have been following me on the X app for more than 2 years. They remember this call. They remember it from way back up here at when I shorted it at 3408. I said many will be surprised if Ethereum drops below 1,000. It did. It went below $900. So don't be surprised, right? Don't be caught off guard. So this is the daily horizontal. This is kind of the last line of defense. That's why it's probably bouncing off of it. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart, if we get a weekly close below, it's already, this line would move up here for the weekly chart, right? Many watch that as well. So you get a weekly close below, which, we still have some time. It's only halfway through the week, right? So you get a weekly close below. Doesn't mean it's going to go straight down, but it's another milestone that, a weekly close below 1580 in the horizontal weekly, right? You've got another pivot here, right? So which horizontal line do you pick? I'm gonna go with the most recent. I'm gonna go with this one here, 1580. You got this daily one here, multiple area of confluence. So you start getting daily and weekly close below. These targets are on the table, right? Look at the weekly chart. It is bearish. MACD below the zero line. Both the slow and the fast line on the MACD are below the zero line. You can see it right here. Negative reading of basically 38 on the MACD weekly, -9 on the slow line. It is bearish. Weekly chart on RSI is bearish. It's 41 reading. This could be that another lower high. You get a weekly close below 40 on RSI. Look out below. You can start to see bigger moves to the downside on Ethereum, right? So with that said, let's go back to Bitcoin. So if it is leading the way, right, you have this weekly support here, right? So weekly support, keep an eye on that. Ethereum is already below it. Ethereum is already below the 200-week moving average. I like to use these as I don't use it as part of my trading strategy. I like to use it as part of my, as a bookmark, right? So like a milestone, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So the difference is the MACD isn't below the zero line yet on Bitcoin. So is it outperforming? Yeah, it could be outperforming a little bit. That's why the Bitcoin dominance is up. It's down today, but overall it's up. So it could be outperforming, but is it also lagging time-wise? Will the MACD get below the zero line? Are we going to see this also a lower high? Are we going to see get closer to this pivot point here at 45, whereas Ethereum's at 40, right? So it is outperforming, right? To the downside. So, it's not as big of moves to the upside, and it's not as big of moves to the downside percentage-wise, right? So will it come back down and test the 45 level and then start to close back below it, right? So that's what we're watching. There's a pending sell signal on the weekly chart. We've talked about possible that it does that. We've been covering this in real time. We talked about it up here at 29,200. Our thoughts were is it play out very similar to silver and gold, hit multiple targets, find support at the 200-week moving average. It did on not the EMA, but the regular MA moving average. It did find support at the moving average. and then bounced, found support, right? Came back up. We were talking about putting in a lower high. It would take weeks, if not months, to play out, right? Now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a 12th week, right? Weeks, if not months, to play out. And now we're watching it start to roll over in real time. This could be that lower high. It's not confirmed on the lower time frames. It looks like it is confirmed, but it's not yet. But this could be that lower high here that we've been talking about for months in real time as it's breaking down. The shorter term targets, 2 of the 3 targets have been hit so far. Start closing back below this third target. Then the next milestone is this weekly chart. If we drop down the daily chart, let's put a horizontal line on. Starting to get bearish on the daily chart. Probably a pending MACD bearish crossover, pending RSI sell signal, pending sell signal, right? Starting to drop down now below 27,700. Make sure you're smashing these like buttons. Make sure to go check out these videos, right? Hit this video, Deja Vu. You definitely want to see that one. Definitely 38,000, 24,000. Definitely want to hit that one. Market crash, very important, right? Those 3, very important. Bitcoin crashing 7 days ago. We talked about it all the way back. NASDAQ bearish, right? Bitcoin crashing a month ago. We've been talking about this, right? We're not talking about Bitcoin going to make all-time highs in 2023. We weren't talking about Bitcoin making all-time highs in 2022. We were talking about Bitcoin making all-time highs in 2021, right? We're not talking about Bitcoin making all-time highs in 2023. What we're talking about is we had a nice rally in 2023, and now the rally is over, and now we're watching, lower prices coming in. This looking like a lower high, confirming. Once this lower high is put in, then it's confirming that the rally is over, right? Had the bearish divergence on the rally, on the daily chart and the weekly chart. This would be the lower high confirming the rally is over. And then we'll see if price is going to come back down to these targets. We have longer term targets. The third target is up here. Check out those other videos. I go into more details on it. Target 4 down here. I just combined the 2 targets because it's overall, if you go back to the video on the fractals, then we're looking at one of the fractals hit target 3 and one of the fractals hit target 4. So I just combined them into both because to me, it doesn't really matter. We're looking for price to come down. I mean, it matters, right? But overall, it doesn't matter just because, the thought is that it hits the target, finds support, whatever target is, find support. We'll be ready for it. And then we'll find out if it's going to break out. And I even talk about the video where I'm wrong, right? So we're talking about price potentially coming back down, hitting this target, finding support, and then making a move to the upside. Where I'm wrong with the stock market, if the stock market continues to be bearish, right? Continues to be overall bearish, and price doesn't find support here, then I could see Bitcoin coming back down to lower prices because of the overall stock market, right? It's correlated until it's not. It's a higher risk asset until it's not. I know the narratives are out there. I know that we're all hoping for that fourth bull market or the next bull market, right? April 2024, the next halving, right? We're all hoping and waiting for that, but it doesn't mean in the interim that we don't see this price get hit. Doesn't mean prices can't go lower. If this overall stock market is crashing, we'll take it level by level. We don't want to get too bearish, and we definitely didn't want to be too bullish up in here because then we would miss these reversals. So stay neutral. I know it's breaking down right now, but we're going to take it level by level, see if it finds support. And if the overall stock market is crashing, we won't be surprised if price comes back down and starts breaking down. And we'll take a look at lower targets at that point. Don't need to worry about it yet, right? So we're going to take it level by level. On the daily chart, reversal candle, it's looking like this is that lower high, that the rally is officially over, right? Too early to call it on the weekly chart, but this bearish divergence. This reversal candle, in hindsight, called the rally. This would be confirming the rally is over, right? So that's what we're watching. Let's get through all the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about what I just covered on Bitcoin. Just want to say good morning, Market Snipers. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for smashing the like button. Thank you for all of your continued support. I appreciate it. We have a lot more to cover. I'm sure a lot more have questions. Smash that like button. Help me, help you, help me, help you. We'll be obnoxious sometimes. But let's get back to the comments. Let's run through it. Aldo, consistent Aldo, always misspelling my name. If you're new to the channel, I mispronounce people's names all the time. It's not my specialty, so I always apologize in advance. Aldo, constant reminder by misspelling my name. So he's doing it on purpose. We appreciate Aldo doing that. I love it because it makes me feel better about myself mispronouncing your name. We love the consistency. Doc, good evening from Germany. Love the consistency from Doc, always saying good evening from Germany, even though we're saying good morning because it's early morning here. Well, not early, but it's the morning here. Welcome back, Doc. Aldo, would like to hear your thoughts about BTC being down 2%, ETH only 0.5. Yeah, so ETH was leading the way, and we talked about this. It's only 0.5% down today, but if you look from this wick here, where it started breaking down to that wick, is down 11.85% from that pivot, right? It hit target 2 and it's down 11.8. So I don't measure it day to day. I measure it from like the last pivot point, right? So it's a good question. So 6.72%. So Ethereum's not, so I don't even like it. It's not even a thing at all. That from day to day, I'm just looking at from the overall pivot point. That's why I say Ethereum's like leading the way and is currently more bearish because I think Bitcoin is just lagging time wise. When you see the reversal candles of when it happened and stuff, and when the sell signal actually happened, you can kind of see toggling back and forth. The sell signals were happening back on last week, and we're just getting a pending sell signal on Bitcoin today. So, and it's down twice as much as Bitcoin is from the last pivot point. So, great question. I don't hold too much weight on it from day to day because they all move at different times, right? But because some are lagging time wise and some are leading the way time wise. So that's why. But great question. Very good question. Lagging is exactly what you're saying. So not showing relative strength, but lagging time wise. Very good question. We talk about this a lot. We'll continue to talk about it. Good morning, everyone. Glad you're back. Rick, new longtime market sniper. Follow me on the X app. Very supportive, but new to the Discord. So welcome, Rick, Money Makers Helton. Be Balanced. Welcome back. Good morning, or good day, or good evening, Jesse. All from Germany. Yes, we got the Germany folks. Welcome back. Awesome. Shooter, by the way, longtime sniper in the Discord. Hi, everyone. Ha ha. Let me know what you're laughing about. I'm not sure. You know, I get on like sometimes a rant or going through the charts, all that stuff. So, Shooter, by the way, what up? Caesar. Hi, Jesse. Can you please chart RBLZ? Yes. So I'm going to get through all these comments real quick. We'll go through them pretty fast. Say hello to everyone, and then we'll go right into RBLZ and then all the other requests. So let's get through it. A bit late, but can sacrifice the workouts. Yep, talked about that. Awesome. Welcome back, Johnny C. John DeLuca, SQQ putting in third. All snipers, right? Longtime snipers. Caesar, welcome back. Stock, thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning. Best live stream around. You know it. You know it. It's going to be. We'll continue to get better. We started off with low definition cameras. We started off with an outdated laptop that couldn't handle it. Had to get a gaming laptop. Got the StreamYard software, all that stuff. So we're gonna continue to get better. We're still new to the game. It's only been a month. We've been live streaming 1 month, getting better and better. Welcome. Thank you. Where is Kings right now? Oh God. Oh God. We know. Don't worry. We'll circle back on that, shooter. By the way, we're gonna circle back on that. In if you don't know what shooter by the way is talking about someone on calling me out on the X app, going against the snipers. It's not good for their financial health, their wealth, right? It's not good for them. Jesse, I smashed the like. I'm helping you. Help me. Help you. Laugh out loud. You know it, my man. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you. Awesome. Thank you. Morning. Wanted to clarify in yesterday's stream when I said Coinbase one, I meant, yeah, that's what I thought, G-Rod. I actually corrected that too. I was like, I'm sure 26.6, I assumed you were talking about Bitcoin. And I did say that on the stream too. So I figured so, G-Rod. I figured so. I got you. Awesome. There were big orders at that level. Yeah. There's big levels at that. There's big orders at that level until there's not, right? So that's the thing. That's why it's not. I take a look at that stuff sometimes, but it's not why it's part of my strategy, because there could be big buy orders and then those big buy orders disappear. So it's be careful on that, G-Rod, that yeah, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. It's not built into my strategy for a reason, because I've personally seen big orders at a key level area and then they disappear, right? So are they doing that on purpose, right? Or do they change their mind, right? So just be careful of that, G-Rod. But yeah, good point. PPI coming in hot. I would imagine CPI tomorrow comes in hot. That's being good. Reason excuse the market reaches lower. Yeah, Vince, I'll save that for the narratives out there. I'll save that for the noise. It's good to be aware, Vince. I think it is good to be aware of it all overall, but it doesn't play a factor in my swing trading. Because we don't know what numbers are, calculated correctly, whether on purpose or, by accident, right? Human error, right? So I don't know. A lot of times it's lagging, right? We got reversal candles already in, like for example, if you're trading Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? We've already got like reversal candles in. So before Fed announcements, before CPI reports, before job reports, all that stuff, it does play a factor, I think, overall in psychology. And but for me as a swing trader, it's lagging, and the moves are already happening. Could it add to the moves? Sure, but the moves are already happening, so I don't hold too much weight for it. For me personally, as a swing trader, but it's good to be aware of it. I do appreciate that. BTCs are going to be oversold in 4 hours. Yeah, but it's just getting started. So it depends on what time frame you're on, Kiko. I mean, it's a good point that you bring up, right? It is getting oversold on the 4-hour chart, most likely. But what we do know as snipers long term is that it's ultra bearish on the 4-hour chart, and it can remain ultra bearish for a lot longer than one thinks. So expect bounces along the way. You can see that price came back tested this upward trend line and resumed off of it, right? So it could remain bearish, especially on lower time frames, for much longer than one thinks. We're just now getting a pending sell signal on the daily chart. It's got a lot of room to hold on. None of this is financial advice. We know that. No, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Hopefully, sometimes it's entertaining. Hopefully, we get some big LOLs from Rick's Moneymakers Helton. It might just be, it's potentially just getting started on the pending sell signal on the daily chart. It's potentially just getting started on the weekly chart. So when I say expect bounces along the way, yeah, the 4-hour chart is ultra bearish. It could remain that way for days, maybe a week, right? I mean, it could, right? It could remain ultra bearish. And then next thing you know, price is back down here at the 200-week moving average. For any case study recent, look at silver and gold. I'm sure the 4-hour chart was ultra bearish for a long time, while it had that big move down on the weekly chart. In fact, let's take a quick look at it. You got this weekly chart here, but if we go to the 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart was ultra bearish for, right? Few days, right? You look at gold, it was ultra bearish from the 26th all the way to the 6th. So a full week. That's silver and gold, let alone like Bitcoin, which is, still a higher risk asset. Um, it's a high risk asset, right? So if gold can remain ultra bearish on the 4-hour chart for a week, so could Bitcoin, right? So just be aware that yes, it has been ultra bearish and quote unquote oversold for one, two, three, four. This is the fifth candle now. 4 out of the 5 candles, but that's only for like since last night, right? So less than 24 hours. And we're talking about gold was ultra bearish or oversold on the 4-hour chart for a week, right? So that's what we're watching. But as of right now, the sell signal is still pending. The day doesn't close for, until 5 p.m. my time. It's 9:48 a.m. here. So still have 8 hours to go, right? And then you got the weekly chart pending sell signal as well. So good point that you're bringing up. Hi from Rio de Janeiro. What's up? What's up, Kiko? Welcome from Rio de Janeiro. Good morning from Chicago. Hermilo. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly, so I apologize, Hermilo, but good morning from Chicago. This is why Aldo keeps misspelling my name on purpose, just to get a little bit of balance. I don't like mispronouncing names, but it's not my specialty. Do you hold any crypto? That's ask me in the DMs. That's a long-winded question. It's a long-winded answer, right? Not for the live streams. And I have multiple strategies deployed, Johnny C. So I'm not trying to skirt it, but it's a long-winded. So if you're interested, I've talked about it actually on recorded coaching. I've talked about it on the video updates. I've talked about it. I've talked about it in detail on Discord. So you just got to kind of go back through there. And then I don't give any advice on what exchange to use. I don't have any affiliate links for exchanges because what if they went down? I'd feel awful. So I don't get into that either. Zomber, welcome. Hi, Jesse. Can you please chart a cash network? AK. Thank you for putting in the name and I've charted that one before, so I'll definitely take a look at looking to accumulate for long term. Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably bearish, but we'll take a look at it for sure. Let's get through. We're almost done through the comments, and then we'll start going through the charts. Let me know if you have any questions on Bitcoin or anything else that we've already covered. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of spoofing with order liquidity. Question: what are your favorite moving averages? I don't use moving averages for trading at all. I only really keep like the 200-week moving average as like a bookmark, right? I don't use the moving averages for trading whatsoever. So I don't have any favorite. I say if you have to say a favorite, I just have the 200-week moving average on to kind of know like is price really far away or is it price below it? Because like investor psychology, many investors say that like below 200-week moving average is bearish, a bear market, and above it is a bull market, right? And so I have it on for that reason as like a bookmark, but I don't use moving averages whatsoever for my swing trading. And so I don't have any. I do like my trending dots, which is similar to a moving average, but it's not a moving average. But I do like the trending dots a lot, and even the trending dots, like from an awareness standpoint, I like it. Overall, like, is it trending down? Is it red or green? Trending up or down? But like entries and exits is still not factored into the trading strategy. So, good question though. Enough said. I get it. You got it, Johnny C. All right, let's start getting into the requests. Let's jump right in. What was the first one of the day? Let's see. Good evening. What do we got? BTC. RBLZ was the first one. Caesar. All right. Early bird gets the worm. You're the first one. RBLZ. Let me type it in. And when you said it was, got it. All right. BL. Oh, 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 oh. RB. Why am I going so slow? Oh my God. All right. Stocks. There we go. Where are you at? Did I type that in wrong? All right. Oh, RBLX. Got it. All right. See, thanks. That's why it helps out because sometimes I'm slow at finding them and it's a live stream, so I don't want to bog it down too much. There is some, so it's still currently bearish on RBLX weekly chart, Roblox Corporation, right? But there are signs of relative strength, right? There are signs. So if you go back long term, it's been going through this bottoming phase since May 2022, right? So more than a year, almost a year and a half, bullish divergence, right? This would be additional bullish divergence. So you've got literally bullish divergence all the way here, right? So almost a year and a half bullish divergence. And it doesn't mean that there couldn't be future bullish divergence. So just be aware of that. But there are signs of strength, right? This was, looks like a low back here, May 2022. And this looks like a potential higher low, even though there's bullish divergence. And what if this was like a double bottom here on RSI, right? On the weekly chart, boom, boom. And this is also bullish divergence. So the caution is that the weekly chart is still bearish, right? There's no weekly close back above, but you start getting a weekly close back above, RSI 44. What is it currently at 46 right now? So it is gaining strength, right? Just be aware that at some point there's going to be a higher low gets put in. So if it's been bullish divergence for that long, at some point it's got to put in a higher low, and it hasn't yet. Whether that's like a shallow one like this and then goes like that, right? Or it comes up like this, puts in a sneaky higher low at some point, or multiple, right? It could still take some time to play out and get the ship turned around. And so you would kind of see like kind of going like this, like consolidating, and then at some point come back out. So if we kind of zoom out here, let's take a look. It may take some time, and so it's too early to say, but there could be a MACD bullish crossover on the weekly chart. As of right now, there's long-term bullish divergence. There could be continued future bullish divergence, meaning lower prices, or you're going to want to watch for, if price puts in a higher low, that could be your signal for a longer term or a longer term bounce, right? So that's something you want to take a look at. And if that does turn out to be the bottom at $25, right, you can see that price will come back up here, maybe target 2, 3, 4, maybe some major bounces, but it's too early to say in the weekly chart. As far as the daily chart, there's already a buy signal, and you do have kind of where I already drew this out. You can see that there is a gap up here, right? So it's possible that you see like price come up, fill this gap, break all the way back down, puts in a higher low at some point, and then as relative strength continues to increase, then maybe you see a higher bounce from there. So as of right now, I'd kind of say like, watch for something like that and possibly fill that gap at RBLX. So longer term investment, right? So it is starting to gain relative strength. Just be aware of the overall market conditions. Just be aware that there could be future bullish divergence, meaning lower prices, but it has had bullish divergence. This is the lowest that's ever been, right? There was a buy signal back here. And then the MACD is starting to get into bullish territory, right? So there could be like shorter term, and then that higher probability is when that higher low gets put in. So if you're looking at longer term investment, then I'd be looking personally, like I would be looking for that higher low to be put in. Like say you're not swing trading on the daily chart, but you're doing it as a long-term investment, then that's when I would say, hey, watch the weekly chart, watch the higher low get put in, and then maybe even look for a daily buy signal on the daily chart to like lock in that, hey, I'm going to ride this. And I pretty much caught a higher probability reversal near the bottom, right? But it's that higher probability reversal, getting that higher low put in. There still isn't even really a higher low on the daily chart. So wherever that higher low is, right? We don't know, but you do have this gap up here. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions with that. Let's get next to, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What's the next one? CPI. Any other ones? Let's see. Okay, next one is a cash, AKT. So I've covered this for someone else, so I'm sure I have it on here. But let me just type it in just for purposes of saving time, right? So crypto, AKT, almost positive I've covered this in the past. And then also let me know if there's a better exchange out there. I'm just going to pick Qcoin, but if you have a specific exchange that you watch, then just let me know. So looking to accumulate for a longer term. So my thoughts are, and I don't know how long you've been following me on YouTube. Maybe you're newer to the channel or newer to follow me on the X app. But if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I don't like to accumulate in a bear market. I don't like to accumulate in a downtrend. Me personally, like if it was confirmed that the bull run was back on, right? Then I could see buying the dips and accumulating on every buy the dip scenario, because there's going to be pullbacks along the way, even a bull market. So if there was a 10% drop on an asset or a 20% drop or a 30%, especially for crypto, 20 to 30% pullbacks, then that's when I would be buying the dip and accumulating, me personally. So with that, when it's in a downtrend, I don't want to accumulate, because say you bought the dip here, you're accumulating. Next thing you know, you're down 43%, right? So maybe you're accumulating back here and you're currently up. So let's look at the weekly chart. Let's look at the overall. So it's on Qcoin. There's not a ton of history. It's possible that this is the high at $1.71, right? And it's possible that you see lower prices. We got a MACD bearish crossover on the weekly chart. You've got an RSI sell signal here. You had candle closes below, weekly candle closes below the trending dots. And this looks like at some point, this could be a pending sell signal or in the near future, right? So if you kind of move this trend line back to over here, right? Just call it like that, right? So that, where is the bottom going to be, right? What if it comes all the way back down to the lows, right? So for me, I wouldn't be, until there's a bottoming that it goes through a bottoming phase, right? Maybe this was the bottoming phase. I don't know. There's not a lot of history on, and I'm just going to stick to Qcoin because for purposes of saving time. But if this was the bottoming phase and there was a pullback, right, and then it reverses back around and becomes bullish, okay. But at some point, it's going to retrace back from that move, and you're going to find out where that is. So even if it retraced back from like, here back down to here, right? Or even lower and puts in a higher low, I wouldn't want to be holding while it's like longer term bearish or potentially longer term bearish on the weekly chart. It's currently not yet, but there's so many signs of it possibly breaking down, right? So that's just what I'd be waiting for. So If it did end up coming all the way back down and finding support, and you start to see like the weekly chart starting to flip back around, that's when I would probably start looking for accumulation or buy the dip scenarios, but not right now for me. But again, you got to figure out what your own strategy is and what your plan is. But there's a RSI sell signal on the weekly chart, MACD bearish crossover. If you drop down the daily chart, you had the breakdowns back here. You had the bearish divergence, right? That was it. Basically, was calling the top there, bearish divergence, right? Probably had a reversal candle if I change the inputs. So bearish divergence, most likely a reversal candle, right? Close below, sell signal, found support temporarily, another sell signal, and now it's breaking down from that upward trend line, right? So it's looking bearish. Could get another MACD bearish crossover on the daily chart in the near future, pending RSI sell signal there. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions there. Yep, I agree. And so if there's a lot of spoofing, I can't rely on that, right? If there's backdoor deals going on, I can't rely on that. I can't guess what's going to happen. I need to see in real time what's happening. I need the best possible higher probability scenarios, right? For reversals and stuff like that. So I can't do it. I looked into it a lot, right? It just doesn't work for me. It's probably good for awareness, good for ideas, just like fractals are, just like Elliott Wave are good for ideas, most likely, or Wyckoff, aka Wyckoff. All that stuff, right? So it's probably good for ideas, but at the end of the day, they could be there could be big orders, and then all of a sudden they get moved, right? So enough said. I got it. Thanks, Jesse. Great as always. You got it. Anything else? Don't worry. It's a difficult name to pronounce. I'm sorry, my man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My name is so simple, but Aldo misspells my name wrong. My own godmother, my own aunt misspells my name wrong. She puts IE after 44 years. She's still spelling it wrong. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We won't feel bad together, right? So that's the balance. Sup, Jesse? Good morning, longtime sniper. You got it. Looking to short it. Thank you for the context. Thank you for letting me know what you're doing. It helps when we're looking at it. Seems like a lower high, okay, is being put in. Lower time frames, got it. Possible head and shoulders pattern in the weekly chart. Okay, you know my thoughts about head and shoulders patterns, but we'll take a look at the head and shoulders pattern. Patterns in general, right? Good for ideas, but not necessarily negative about head and shoulders. Weekly chart that aligns with my breakdown theory. Okay, let's do it. I like it. RNDR. I think Olson was looking at, or he was in a long position trying to maximize his long and then flip right back around and get a short on it. So we are covering that over the past couple of days, I believe, or past week or so. I think we're covering it. Let me know if that is accurate or not. But let's look at it. Let's look at RNDR. RNDR, crypto. Yep, I already have it on there. Okay, so we were talking about this. Talking about, could it potentially push back up? Let's look at the lower time frame, right? Because you were talking about the lower time frame. So you had the bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. It was back down here. Olson was bringing up, could it push back up to 1.82, right? And so let's see. This was so from yesterday's stream, we were talking about could it. This is what the drawings were. Yesterday's stream, we were talking about could it push back up to 1.82. I said it definitely could push back up to 1.82, and it did, right? It did hit 1.1. It did hit 1.82. We did say it's a possibility. We would find out if this would be a lower high, right? And then it wicked all the way back up even higher to 1.85. And now it's starting to look like this could be that lower high that you're talking about. Here, let me just redraw all this, right? Let's redraw it in. This was bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart, right? Sneaky lower highs on the 4-hour chart, right? So you do have some lower highs there. And then this would be like additional lower high. This would be a lower high here. And so is it breaking down, right? Is it breaking down on the 4-hour chart? MACD never had a bullish crossover. So definitely a fake out to the upside for to trap some more bulls, right? So lower highs and MACD never had bullish crossovers right at the zero line. So in the very near future, it would start to see. Did you get into a short position already? Looking to short it. All right. So looking to short it based off of what time frame? 4-hour chart has a pending sell signal right now. Back test looks like that lower high is getting put in. So just let me know what time frame you're looking at. And it does have a pending sell right now, and it's starting to break down, right? So that's what we're looking at. I can see where this would be kind of like a head and shoulders pattern, right? You got the left shoulder, you got the head, you got the right shoulder, right? So the neckline would be somewhere like that. So if you kind of look at the neckline, probably want to go to like uh, the line chart, right? So your head, I'm not a patterns expert, but this would probably be like, probably like maybe that would be the neckline, right? That'd probably be the neckline that I would draw on the line chart. So probably there, there, there. I really like that one. So you had a couple fake outs to the downside, another one, right? Another close down below. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the lower high there at this point. So you get another 4-hour close back below. It seems like lower price coming in. So just draw out your targets, find out if the risk to reward ratio is lined up for you. You could even draw this out like this, right? So there's a lot of confluence of it breaking down there from 1.77. Hope that helps. Yes, watching the 4-hour chart for confirmation. 1.76, which seems likely, but we'll see. After that would be monitoring higher time frames. Yeah, so you're taking the entry based off of the lower time frame and then trying to watch it very closely, see if it turns into something bigger on the higher time frames and continue to push that trade as long as possible. It's a pending sell signal in the 4-hour chart. So it's not confirmed yet, but it's starting to look more and more so. So take that for what it's worth. I hope that helps, my man. Let me know. If you have any other follow-up questions, feel free to tag me in the Discord as well. I'm happy to help. We're at 1 hour. Where are we at, everybody? Do we have any other? Okay. Let's see. I haven't bought AKT yet. Wonder if it comes back to previous lows around. It's possible. So we covered that, and it could flip bearish on the weekly chart. So just patience is the key, right? If it's going into a longer term correction mode with the weekly chart, and you're seeing other assets breaking down like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff, even though we trade them separately, you got it. Rivian, you got it. Long-term investment. Thanks. You got it. All right, we'll take a look at it. Another crowd favorite, right? They love Rivian. Love Rivian. I think the trucks look cool. I've never rode in one. I've rode in multiple Teslas. My buddies have Teslas, but I've driven them myself, but never driven a Rivian or been inside one. Just seen it up close. So yeah, we'll take a look at it. Yeah, so patience is a key, right? Especially the weekly chart. Rivian. All right, I know it's on here, but I'm just going to hit the search just to try to speed things up. There it is. Got it. Yep. Got the crosshairs. Where is it? Oh, what did I do? I moved it. Why did I move it? Why did I do that? Okay. All right. We got it. Boom. Got it. Okay. That's a 4-hour chart. So let's get back to the weekly chart. So long-term investment. We're gonna break out. So have you looking a long-term investment? All right. Patience is the key. We talked about this from back here. Someone else looked at it at $23. It looks like it was starting to break down, most likely on the lower time frames, right? So looking for that higher probability that a higher low gets put in, right? So a couple things negative and positive, right? So had that long-term bullish divergence going back to March 2022, right? If anyone's getting value, if anyone's having a good time, let's smash this like button. Let's smash this subscribe button. Let's help me out. Help me out. Smash the like, smash the like, smash the subscribe, right? If anyone's getting any value, the goal is 100 likes. Help me. Help me. Help me. Okay. So the weekly chart, it looks like there's a pending MACD bearish crossover. The weekly chart, there is an RSI sell signal, right? Longer term, there was bullish divergence, right? And I don't think that bullish divergence has been cleared out yet, right? So at some point, there's this gap back here at $16. At some point, you're going to see a higher low get put in and then possible breakout to the upside. So let's kind of zoom out here. Again, there's not a lot of chart history for Rivian Automotive. Um, and it doesn't mean it couldn't just continue to be bearish, and it could take weeks, if not months, to play out, right? So especially if there's going to be a MACD bearish crossover here, this could take. You can see where I drew this yellow line, right? It's October right now. What if it doesn't fill this gap until at call it $17 until January of next year, right? Or it fills the gap and then kind of like bounces along the way, right? Kind of move in here, zoom in. What if it hold on, let me move this back. So it could kind of like fill this gap like this, and we'll just say if it kind of fills and puts in a higher low at some point and then breaks out, right? That could take weeks, if not months, to play out. So it could continue going through a bottoming phase. This would be basically a 2-year bottoming phase, right? So it could take time to play out, and there's no guarantee this is the bottom, right? We don't know. It's just once it puts in that higher low at some point, right? Uh, it puts in a higher low at some point. That is going to be your higher probability that the bottom is in, right? That's why you wait for a higher probability that the bottom is in. Otherwise, it could continue to have bullish divergence, or it just, what if something else happens and, ends up just breaking down below these lows from here? So it's never a guarantee. Even if there's a higher low that's put in, it's still not a guarantee, but I like the higher probabilities of the higher lows getting put in. And we don't know how long it takes, weeks or months for a higher low to get put in. And then that would be your longer term potential investment where you see like some sort of a massive retracement at some point, right? You could even draw like, something like this, like similar to what we did for the Bitcoin breakout. So wherever the breakout is here or here, right? At some point, you kind of see a retracement come back up into these levels. It's definitely a possibility. So I hope that helps, my man. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. You got it. I appreciate it. Manuel, thanks, Jesse. Always on point. We have to be Emmanuel. We're actually trading with real money. We're not just influencing people. We're not just taking affiliate links. We have 0 affiliate links, right? We only have our own Discord. We only have our own recorded coaching. That's all we have. We have to make money and be right with our trades. So we have to be on point. We can't afford not to be on point. So, but I appreciate you saying that. 10 minutes in, I'm not seeing any other comments or follow-up questions. I'm not seeing any other assets let's take a look at Bitcoin again real quick. 26,626, right? MACD still bearish, right? Had that MACD bearish crossover. We called it back here. we didn't call it. We talked about it, right? We talked about it again. Bearish divergence on the weekly chart. We talked about it. We talked about this breakdown. Talked about it finding support. Talked about it. Talked about it. Plenty of videos to go back through. Take a look at them. I highly recommend watching this one, probably this one. Definitely the market crash one. Probably going to do a part 2. I got to think about it and think about how we do a follow up to part 2. But I think it's important. So definitely go take a look at it. We have a pending sell signal on the weekly chart. We have a pending sell on the daily chart. You can see it's breaking down. The looks like we have a pending MACD bearish crossover. So if we change that on show the MACD indicator, right? We have I turn it off just for purposes of the live stream. I keep it on, but I turn it off for the live stream and for charting because then you can't see the pending sell signal. So we have a pending sell signal and a pending MACD bearish crossover at the same time after the reversal candle, right? So after the reversal candle, we have a pending sell signal and a pending MACD bearish crossover. So that's what we're watching in real time. 2 targets to the downside already. Expect bounces along the way. But as I pointed out, the 4-hour chart is ultra bearish, right? Could remain that way. MACD is just trending downwards. RSI is trending downwards on the 4-hour chart. Seems like target 3, the shorter term target 3 is going to be hit in the near future, whether it bounces or not. And then we have this larger target down here. So that's what we're continuing to watch on Bitcoin. NASDAQ, the 4-hour chart looks like it could start. It could be in the very early stages of losing momentum, right? Big momentum push, lesser momentum, less, right? And then starts to lose momentum wherever it does. Maybe it doesn't even come back all the way to this trend line. Maybe it starts to lose momentum here, right? And then this comes in where it's that next third lower high. Let me know if you have any questions or comments on it. SP 500, big momentum move, lesser. Is it starting to lose strength? This could be bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart, right? Could start to break down on the 4-hour chart, SP 500. Same with the Dow Jones. The Russell 2000 loves to lead the way as well. 4-hour chart starting to lose momentum, right? Gold still currently ultra bullish on the 4-hour chart. Silver still holding on, huge move down, right? So it's getting that retracement in. I'm going to find out if it rolls over from there, right? DXY is broken down, probably hit a couple targets. I'll remap those out. TNX broke down on the 4-hour chart. We saw the bearish divergence and the reversal candles there. 10-year yield. VIX 4-hour is starting to make that move. So it's looking very similar, but the inverse, right? We see it. We're looking at it. Someone in the comments, let me know how many likes we have. I'm concerned about these likes, right? I know we're getting more and more likes as time goes on, but how many likes do we have? Someone be the class assistant over there. Help me. Let me know. You got it, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you. So the VIX looks like it's very similar, where you kind of the opposite on the 4-hour chart, possibly a bigger move up, but there's no close on it yet, right? And it's the 4-hour chart. So natural gas looks like it had some slight bearish divergence, right? Some divergence on the 4-hour chart, RSI sell signal, started to lose momentum, right? And then now it had a sell signal, MACD bearish crossover on the 4-hour chart. That's natural gas. I know we hadn't covered it yet. US oil, MicroStrategy, we were talking about it, only hit target 1. It has a pending sell signal on the 4-hour chart. Watching that, red all the way across not good for the bulls. If you're holding shorts, right? Not bad. So let's jump over to Magnificent Seven. Let's take a quick glance. We're an hour 15 minutes in. Tesla still in this area that we talked about. Will it put in this lower high, right? Momentum to the upside on the 4-hour chart. Could be slightly losing momentum. There's an RSI sell signal on the 4-hour chart. It's a lower time frame, so take it for what it's worth. But could start to lose momentum. Sorry, John. Tesla John. Oh, he did it. He did it. Look out. He did it. John changed his name. Now I forget how you spell your last name. So, but you changed to Tesla John. Love it. Tesla John. There is a reversal candle on the 4-hour chart. Big move, lesser move, lesser move. Could it start to break down? Could this put in that lower high? We'll find out. Let's look at the daily chart. Still holding on, right? Lower high. Will this end up being a lower high? Too early to say. Weekly chart. This is a lower high. Will this end up being a lower high? Too soon to call it. Maybe look at the 2-hour chart if you really want to get lower. You got also another reversal candle there. Could be a sneaky lower high there, right? So you're watching it, lower time frames, right? Still bullish on all aspects. Some signs of weakness on the lower time frames, but you have to go really lower time frame to see any kind of weakness or breakdown, right? So you got bearish divergence on the 1-hour chart. Could be a lower high in the 1-hour chart. See if it starts breaking down from the trend line. So that's what you're kind of watching. Tesla John, let's see what you said. Do you think Bitcoin will bounce back up to 27,500 before continuing lower? Thing. 27,500. Usually I get this question asked, Tesla John, when someone missed the short position or they're in a long position and they're hoping to get out, right? Is that the reason why? Usually you get that question then. 27,500. I'm saying it's less likely, right? Let me get off the 1-hour chart. 27,500. Yeah, so 27,500 was back up here, the trending dots. As the daily chart and the weekly chart become more and more bearish, maybe it were to come back up into this area here and possibly put in a lower high. But as of right now, it's starting to become less and less likely. And if you saw like Ethereum's flush down, right? So it was up around the trending dots and then had a flush down, right? And then it didn't come back up, right? So if the short answer is it's becoming less and less likely that it's going to revisit 27,500. It doesn't mean it won't revisit somewhere in between, but it's starting to look more and more like that ship sailed, right? So that's all I can say. Aiden Cole, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. 26,600 Bitcoin. Man, I'm holding my short still. I'm holding it. Not financial advice. So you got it. Let's take a look at it. On the daily chart, you had the RSI sell signal. Looks like there's a pending MACD bearish crossover on the daily chart. Sell signal probably in the near future. Drop down to a lower time frame. Let's look at the 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart had a sell signal on Sunday my time, right? So that was the close of the week, right? And then literally went sideways for 4 12-hour candles in a row, and now it's breaking back down, right? So it was kind of letting the moving averages catch up, or the trending dots kind of catch up, and now it's breaking back down. These are all targets that were hit to the upside. So this looks like it would be a target to the downside. It's breaking down, right? It's bearish. Even the EMA is right on the 50 line. It's going to be getting closer and closer. More bearish. It's breaking down. We talked about this on previous streams, right? At what point We don't give financial advice. So at what point do you take profits? If you took this long position here, at what point do you take profits? Was it target 1, target 2, target 3, right? At what point do you take profits on target 3? It was ultra bullish. Then it was breaking down from these very steep trend lines, even looked like a double top on the wicks there, right? And then kind of battled sideways, then broke down sideways again, and now it's just breaking down back below $22. That's the 12-hour chart. If you went to the lower time frames, because we were watching it, kind of battled, and now it's breaking down, right? So it's bearish on the lower time frames, 12-hour. The daily chart's most likely next. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart, this could be a lower high, right? This could end up being a bearish MACD crossover. Too early to call it. There's even a pending sell signal on the weekly chart, very similar to Bitcoin. So that's kind of my thoughts on it, Aiden. I hope that helps you. Let me know. With that, thanks for all of your support. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next live stream tomorrow.